We're not chasing perfection in terms of 16-0. We're chasing Lombardis.
All right, they're the Steelers, and this, as you know, is First Take. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here with us. Check out this crew today. We had some fun on Monday. Hope to do it again today. We've got Dominique Foxworth, Ryan Clark. I'm Charlie Arnold. Guys, we had a lot of references, pop culture, all of the above on Monday. I hope to beat that count today. All right, but let's get things started with some sports, shall we? Let's get started with the Steelers. As we all know, they clinched the AFC North this past Sunday, and head coach Mike Tomlin has announced since that Ben Roethlisberger will not play this coming Sunday in their season finale against the Browns in order to give the 38-year-old quarterback some rest ahead of the postseason. Ryan, are you confident in Big Ben during the playoffs?
That question's a little loaded, Charlie. I mean, I don't think you're supposed to start the show with those. You kind of started with some softballs. Let me hit some home runs, and then I can get some singles and some bunts, and then we can have a great show. But I trust him enough to be who he is. I trust him enough to be the best he can possibly be at this stage of his career. Big Ben can't carry this team, though. What you saw in the second half of that Indianapolis Colts game is not what you're going to see going forward in the playoffs. He's not going to duplicate that for two halves of football. Big Ben has to be disciplined, but this is the smart decision to keep him out, right? Because you want him to be as healthy as he possibly can. You don't want to see those balls skipping into the dirt like we saw against the Cincinnati Bengals, or I guess the rubber, because they don't have dirt on their field. You don't want to see the bad decision-making like the interception to Mackenzie Alexander, or choosing the wrong crossing route and getting Juju Smith-Schuster blown up, and now my dog can't even go Corvette before the game starts on the logo because people are blaming him for losing the game. No, Ben, you're throwing it to the wrong people. Now Uzi and Future can't get they shine on before the game on TikTok. And so when you see all these things happen, and then now you see the way Big Ben shows his championship medal in the second half against the Indianapolis Colts, his ability to actually push the ball down the field, throwing outside the numbers and doing so with velocity, with accuracy, with efficiency. Those things get you excited. Those things make you feel like, okay, there's still a little bit less left in the championship tank. But let's not be fooled. This isn't an AFC championship team. This isn't a Super Bowl team. And so in order for Ben Roethlisberger to be as successful as he wants to be, right? Because when you're a Pittsburgh Steeler, it's about winning the championship. In order for Big Ben to get to that level, it's going to take much more from the run game, much more from the offensive line like we saw in the second half against the Colts. But it's going to take Mike Hilton picking up a fumble and running it to the 5. Mike Hilton picking off a deep ball against Phillip Rivers, pressure by Tuitt, pressure by Hayward, pressure by TJ Watt. So there's so much more that goes into the success of the Pittsburgh Steelers other than Ben Roethlisberger. But we have to remember, and we got to know, they don't win it without Ben playing well, as we've seen throughout this season.
Yeah, I absolutely have some confidence, a high level of confidence in Ben to be Ben. I think you're right. They're going to need a lot more help, but I think Dan Orlovsky made a good point when we did the show on Monday, and I stole his color combo because I thought it looked nice. So I brought it today with the brown and the maroon. But anyway, that's off the topic. I think I wore it better personally. Nah. He too big. I think I wore it well, or a little bit better myself. But I think that off the top, Ryan's reaction was perfect. He had that face where it was kind of a smile, but not like at the end of church when the pastor say, the Lord loves a cheerful giver. And you like, yeah, I'm happy about it. That's how you smiled. And it was the same feeling. And that's how I feel about Ben Roethlisberger, is that's the only choice you have at that moment. When he say the Lord loves a cheerful giver, you better smile while you give it. You don't have no other choice. You can go to Mason Rudolph. No, Ben Roethlisberger is your choice.
No.
And frankly, it's not a bad choice to have. He's been in the playoffs. He's won playoff games on the road. He's won Super Bowls. He's done all those things. And he has shown that he has the capability to touch that old Ben Roethlisberger on occasion.
Yeah.
He's not going to put you on his back. He's not going to be Big Ben, the best Big Ben all game. but you don't want him to be. You can't ask him to be that. That's not how your team is going to succeed. You need him to just be able, just like he did last week, just be able to pull out a little Ben Roethlisberger when we need it. Stand in that pocket, take those hits, buy some time, throw an accurate-ish pass downfield when we need you to. And he's capable of doing that, so I have high confidence in him doing that as long as they don't ask him to do any more. This defense is going to need to play well for him to win, and those receivers are going to have to make big plays because they're not going to just develop a running game out of nowhere. They know how to play. They know how to win. They're a well-coached team, and I like Ben. Go ahead, Ryan.
I think I've heard you say something before, and if I'm misquoting you, I apologize, my dog. We do a lot of TV together. But I think I've heard you say before that great quarterbacks, right, when they start to get older, the thing that they can do is be great in spurts, right? What happens is they don't lose it totally, but you can't ask them to be great for 4 quarters, week in and week out. I think that's where we are with Ben right now. I mean, much like you say when the preacher says he wants a cheerful giver, he also is going to tell you, they'll take the money that jingle, but they're rather the kind that folds. Well, Ben's he's going to jingle a little bit, right? He's going to hit the collection plate and it's going to clang a little bit. But every now and then you'll get the money that folds. And we got that against the Indianapolis Colts. We saw him once he was in command of the offense, a little bit of hurry up and some of those things that he feels comfortable doing. We saw a little bit of the old Big Ben. The problem is, how much of that are you going to ask him to bring up, right? How much of the old Big Ben does he have to remember? Does he have to show you week in and week out while you're in the playoffs? Because you can't expect that down in and down out. You have to find something else that bolsters him and gives him a chance to make those critical situational football play moments. That's what he's in. That's what he's great at. That's what's important for him to do. But you can't ask the whole game. My bad, Dom.
The best thing, you're good. The best thing about Ben Roethlisberger is I believe he knows that. He's changed his game because he knows that. He's getting rid of the ball quicker because he knows his limitations. I think that's the difficult thing when you deal with guys who are older, who were superstars, and they still believe they're that person in the past. Ben seems to be aware that he's not that guy, and he plays within himself. So as the collection plate is coming around, when it comes to Ben, he's not going to go like Coming to America and put no chicken bone in that thing. He know he got jingle. He not going to reach for the paper. He know he only got one bill, and he going to save